morning. How are you? I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Deborah. This is Purusha Intuitive, and we're going to be looking at the collective energy for today, Monday, January 15th. It's a new week. Whoop, whoop. I hope you had a good weekend. I hope you had a restful weekend. I hope you're seeing things kind of manifest, evolve in more of your favor, even though right now we are kind of in this process of doing a lot of the healing work around it, i.e. letting go, releasing the old so we can invite in the new, which is not always an easy process, but oh so valuable. So let's cleanse out the energy. I bless you with pure love and light, pure source energy, pure loving grace. I release anything that is blocking us from our highest and best messages. Any distraction, fear, anxiety, lack of worth, anger, sadness. I release it all from our being, Lord. I just ask that you'll bless this reading today. Thank you. Amen. All right, so let's get going. So interesting. Today is Monday, January 15th. It's Martin Luther King Day, and I was really reflecting on his message and this value of like peaceful protest, and even just how it relates to us modern times with what's going on for us personally as well. That value of we can't always change people's thoughts and opinions around a situation, but we can still do it in a peaceful and sincere manner, right? That is taking the high road. It is being a person of value, choosing to honor, respect life, even if it is not returning the same to you. And I've been contemplating a lot on what it actually means to live in balance and in harmony, especially with the more destructive forces that we come into play. It takes a lot, right? We really have to be strong and confident in ourselves and rely on, like, it's not only what we want, but it's executing our vision in a fluid and respectable way. So I think it's easy to want to hash things out with people, say everything they're doing wrong, they're telling you everything you're doing wrong, etc. And it really doesn't get us anywhere in the grand scheme of things. We have to be more mindful and thoughtful with our words, how we communicate, what we say, remembering that not everyone's perspective is the same and not everyone is going to receive it the same. Monday is the day of the moon, and the moon is connected to our sacral chakra. So it really speaks to what we're trying to bring into this world, what we're trying to birth into this world, our ability to tap into that creative potential, and also the ability to believe in our ability to bring it in, right? Today, I like the astrology. You know, we still have these undercurrents of like tension and a little bit of messiness, but at the same time, like I talked about in the readings, especially this month, there's going to be an opening. There is more movement coming in, and we actually see that with Mars in a harmonious aspect to our fortune point. Actually, everything that's aspecting Mars today, which is in Capricorn, so doing the work, putting our plans into action, not letting things throw us off or our course or etc. It really is talking about or confirming that momentum coming into play. So this is tapping into those finer layers. Ether is the first element of consciousness. If you look at the journey of consciousness, it starts with the most subtle layers, right? So the journey of consciousness is taking the unmanifest and bringing it into our physical world. And ether is being able to tap into those subtler energies. And unfortunately, or not. With the moon, it brings up a lot of emotions, a lot of feelings around what's going on in our world, who we're dealing with, especially people that we're feeling a little more triggered to let go of, or we wish it had worked out in a different way. To me, sacred geometry is a lot about refining. It's as above, so below, as within, so without. So we need to kind of have that fine balance and synchronicity in what we're planning and the way that we're going about it. And that really attaches back to that first message that I was talking about being peaceful through the process. Because when we attack, verbally, emotionally, God forbid physically, but when we come after someone, or even we hold hateful things in our heart, in our mind, in our soul against a person or a situation, it actually does throw the balance off. Because all that's doing is inviting in these more low vibey energies. And yeah, like we might not like everything that's playing out right now. We see that with the moon square to, it happened yesterday, so I'm laughing at myself. The moon square to Venus. So, what we're passionate about, what we're bringing alive, we have Venus in a harmonious aspect to the North Node, which is all about like rooting us on, keep pushing us on our path. But the moon is like, well, I don't like exactly how it's going, or this is hurting my feelings, or this is triggering some stuff. And that's where our feelings really play a beneficial role. I know uncomfortable feelings are not fun to feel. I'm sensitive and I hate feeling them. I think we all do as humans. It's also an indicator that something is not right or something is out of balance. When we give so much to the fear, the anxiety, the anger, the control, it really does knock us off our block. And what I'm seeing here today is there's a lot of mastery and there's a lot of power, but these three cards really represent more of those subtle layers, those subtle energies like I was talking about. And it's interesting because we are kind of working against the odds with this improbability, and that's probably why we're so sensitive about it right now, or we are feeling all the feels, because there is this level of uncertainty. Can I do this? Can I make this happen? Is this authentically for me? Will I survive if I let this go, if I leave this thing behind? Spirit really wants us to feel strong and self-assured. The places that we're questioning, it's Mercury and Venus square to Neptune. I've talked a lot about how that can bring up illusions. It can make us feel or believe the worst case scenario, and really Spirit just wants to bring us our happiness. I think that really is the goal in life, is to be happy, is to be fulfilled. Humans have created all these things in order to honor that. A lot of them are instant gratification. A lot is distraction. A lot of it removes us from the authenticity of who we are, right? It takes us away from our natural cycles of life. And when we live in tune with those natural cycles, that's where we see blessing, abundance, prosperity in our life. So this is the work. It's a good year. There's a lot of positive abundance coming through. It is really about harmonizing, rebalancing all the chaos that has been going on, especially over the past couple years. I've talked a lot about how Pluto is going to be moving back into Aquarius. I will do a special video on it because it's worthy of it. But that really kind of drives back home. The things that we're fighting for, the more we can push towards that and honor that path, the more we're going to see those rewards come in. Yeah, so we have a lot of intuitive energy in the front of this reading right off the bat. High Priestess is also connected with that intuitive moon energy as well. She is divine feminine, but she is the secret holder, right? She holds the secrets of what it actually means to live this limitless life where there is endless potential. And tuning into her, you know, and within our own being, I should say, tuning into ourselves, into those messages, and using it for our power. Double confirmation with this magician energy, as well as the high priestess. I really love too, if you can see, she's holding a phase of the moon cycles next to her. So really driving home that point and that need to live within those cycles for our life. You know, there's times of rest, there's times of reprieve, especially when we're really exhausted. When we're exhausted, we're functioning at low energy, low battery, right? And we can't really honor what we're trying to bring in when we're in that space of exhaustion. There is a little bit of defensive coming through, and I do feel like this is coming from your energy. A lot of this it goes back to this improbability. 1111 is on the clock. So needing to believe in yourself and your power. You know, even if we think about that simple fact that like we only use 10% of our brain. So imagine what it would be like to tap into that other 90% and how like badass you can be, right? That's how I think of it. But I think we get so sucked into the physical level, what's happening on this plane, that we forget that the etheric, the more subtle layers are just as important, just as valuable as what we're seeing in front of us. What we see in front of us is similar in the way that it gives us indicators as to what's working and what's not. If we're consistently finding resistance in a certain way, you know, then it's telling us something, right? It's that indicator. I got thrown off by this 7 of Swords energy, which consistently pops up for us. Today it is coming up in your energy. Yeah, okay, so the 7 of Swords and Devil have been coming up on the regular. I'm gonna pull a few more and see what's up with that. Okay, 5 of Pentacles. 1, 2, 3, 4. Feeling left out, feeling not valuable, feeling that people don't really care. Maybe this is attached to your home, your family. Maybe you're reminiscing about some challenges that have manifested for you lately. Let me pull one more on this Devil. 7 of Swords. Okay, yeah, so it's more getting sucked into what is changing. And I feel like, honestly, this energy to me has obviously, as I've been talking about, even the Death card, it's been popping up on the regular for us. I feel like this is something you thought was going to change and it just never did, right? So dealing with people, places, and things, you were really hopeful. You thought, you know, it was going to manifest in a certain way or play out in a certain way. And it just didn't. It didn't. And so now you're in this place where I think it's like just really disappointing, not seeing the fruits of your labor, not seeing the results that you wanted to. And that's where I think I would be really careful, mindful of that energy getting too down and out, because there is so much abundance with that 10 of Pentacles, and Spirit wants to bring that to us. It's easier said than done though, right? Because we're still seeing the moon square to the North Node as well as to Chiron. And both of those points are in Aries. So Aries is a lot about refining ourselves, being a better version of ourselves, putting the time, attention, focus on what we need to do in order to make it happen. But we all have a reputation, right, that we want to uphold, and we want people to see us in a certain way. And unfortunately, it means that we have to go against the grain. We've been seeing that all across the board in these readings, you know, especially for the past month and a half or so that I've been back up and running. I hope that you are resonating. Definitely drop comments below. It's always fun to hear how it plays out. Okay, so the past energy, Six of Cups, it really confirms what I was just saying about thinking that a situation was going to go a little bit differently than what it actually did. And I think it actually, and this came through yesterday, like it made you linger too long, or it made you give too much of your energy to those people, places, and things. Even if it was like you weren't having communication and you just weren't allowing yourself to like move forward. You didn't really accept at the time that this ended, and it just was what it was. And not good, bad, right, or wrong. I'm sorry for whatever you're navigating through, because I know endings are so painful, especially when they are people that we love, that we care about, people that we think are better than maybe what they are. And I'm not trying to throw shade to anyone. All is welcome at this channel. It's not, there's no reason to fearmonger, right? It goes back to that same concept I was talking about in the very beginning. Finding harmony, finding balance, finding peace in the diversity, right? We're all welcome. We all have a place here. And not only that, but we have amazing gifts and potential that really will honor this world. And I think I see this so much on the day-to-day. We get sucked into the grunt and grind, or, people just accept like, hey, this is all I can get, or this is, and to be fair, I understand that doing the work, peeling away those layers of hardship and shame and pain and judgment and anger that have really befallen all of us throughout the world, it makes it really hard to switch our mindset, switch our perspective, open up to new potential and new possibility. And then we get stuck, right? We get stuck in the past. We get stuck in the nostalgia, the shoulda, woulda, couldas, the places we wanted it to look different, and it's just not, And I feel like for you, there is a little bit of a come to Jesus moment that needs to happen with that Judgment card, of just recognizing what it is for what it is, no matter how painful that might be. I personally find, and actually I was just talking to this about someone else, so I think this is fairly, true across the board, is that like, when we just acknowledge, it really does help open up, and it really does help us release. Even if it is painful in that moment, if we have to have some tears for fears, whatever it might be, it's really important for us to, see the truth, see the clarity. And actually, this is opening up those doors that have kind of restricted us or limited us from the past. I like that. So one of the easiest and best ways to tap into those subtle layers is via meditation. I'm a huge proponent of transcendental meditation. I've learned a lot of different forms throughout the years, and that is by far, in my opinion, the most holistic. And there's a bunch of science to back it up. It really brings in cohesion to, the duality that's within us. It allows our brain to function at its highest capacity. And that is that space that I was talking about. That's that 90% that we're missing, right? And if we make a consistent meditation practice for us, we can actually open up and tap into that potential. I also believe, this is like my little foreshadowing, but as science moves, as quantum physics becomes a little bit more acceptable across the board, I feel like in the future we're going to be working a lot more with these subtle energies versus being so restricted in the physical and the limited. I feel like it's going to be more acceptable in society is what I should say, because there still is some meditation's become a little bit more mainstream, but there are still some naysayers around it, and that's again where we can't get emotional. I like this double confirmation on the moon energy. It is, I think the clarity that's coming through is making things a little bit sad, a little messy. It doesn't feel so good. Like I said, that moon is square to Venus. And it's also in opposition to Black Moon Lilith and our fortune point. So Black Moon Lilith is going to try to play with our emotions. She's going to try to dangle that carrot or, tempt us. I often look at her as the temptress, not in a bad way. Sometimes we need to be tempted. Sometimes we need to get out of our rigidity and have a little fun, but at the same time, if it's blocking us from tapping into our fulfillment, our abundance, our potential, that's where it becomes a little bit dicey. We have to make the choice though, and I think Spirit is really asking you to do that today. We have to make the choice to let go and move on. I think that what I'm hearing is for certain things that probably are a little bit more tender to our heart, it's harder to walk away from those. It's a harder pill to swallow. We thought it was going to work out different. We thought that there would be different responses, and unfortunately there just isn't, People are going to be people, and going back to that hard work component, when we do the right things, most people will not, most people will hide, or they won't communicate, or they don't want to go there because it is kind of hard and painful. And sometimes it is hard to hear another person's truth, especially if we messed up or vice versa. So I think it's these connections, I think that you thought that they were a little bit deeper than what they were, or that people had more loyalty towards you, more honor, more respect. But honestly, Spirit is bringing them out of the woodwork so that you can move forward. This devil needs to be removed. This devil needs to be taken out of the equation. And whatever that devil is for you, whether it's a person, a situation, a habit, a pattern, a way of thinking for yourself, really tap into that. You're going to know more than I will, obviously, because these are collective readings. I do personal readings if you're interested. You're going to know exactly what it is that you do kind of need to let go of. We can all feel it within our soul. We can feel those underlying, or just our intuition, or that still small voice is you gotta stop. Enough is enough. That type of vibe. And really just listen to that. And I'm hearing honor that, right? Manganese. I love this. I feel like this is super powerful. I want to read these because I love the way that the book depicts them. It's very poetic, but it also kind of drives home the points that we've been looking at. So, give me a moment. Zirconium, that's so funny. Zirconium is one of the hardest substances. So it's a substance, an element where it's we need, it allows us to have our strength, to have our solidarity, to have our the ability to overcome even the hardest things. And a lot of times when we have to overcome things that are hard for us, the value is in overcoming it, right? That is where the gift ends up being. Okay, what am I looking for? Focus, Deborah. I often get lost in my own little world. It's a nice world to be in. Okay. No. Let's see. I wish I had these. I don't know how to do it. I don't know if I should, All right, am I blind? No disrespect to anybody, but I don't know. Okay, there we go. Duh, Deborah. Duh. Okay. I don't know. Okay. Manganese, a monumental solar spirit. Manganese is the supporting pillar in the psychosynthesis process. A sustaining, dynamic voice that summons all in his realm to grow, liberate, and unfold with encouraging, strengthening confidence. Wise and versatile with useful knowledge, Manganese is proactive, industrious father. A Supra temple journeyman with magnetic, priestly energy, bringing surprising fortune to the world's smallest and largest substances. I really feel like that's what we're going to be tapping into, but we kind of do have to do this harder work. I wanted to do the zirconium one as well, if you guys are cool with it. Zirconium is a man of hidden extremes, extreme strength, extreme flexibility, extreme endurance. He thrives on the dangerous edge, effortlessly enduring intense ordeals that the world destroys most anyone else, that would destroy most anyone else. Ever active, ever powerful, he is a vigilant, nimble protector in aggressive environments, making him the ideal man of duty. Zirconium's moon is the harvest moon, full, opaque, and gold-like in appearance, celebrating the gatherings of its own luminous, useful power in sacred investiture. I love that. I mean, it really just drives home the point of today's reading, right? Like, we do have to be strong. We do have to be vigilant in order to overcome. And sometimes it is about, you know, putting on our boots, strapping them up, and going, right? Like, I don't know, yes. I mean, I think the mind is always looking for comfort, happiness, and fulfillment, right? And so sometimes it sounds better to say, I'll hold off on that. But it leaves us kind of in this willy-nilly energy where we're letting the moon, the emotions, the feelings around these things really distract us and keep us limited and blocked. And, you know, in some ways that's part of their purpose, right? But in other ways, Spirit is really wanting us to rise above and overcome even the harder parts. Take care of your heart, your mind, soul today. Definitely start meditation if you're interested, or look into it. You know, there's probably other ways, if you're not into the woohoo, that you can quiet your heart, mind, and soul. You know, I like meditation because it is a little bit structured and it kind of allows us to sink into our body, into our being. Yoga Nidra is an amazing practice. It takes a little bit longer, but definitely look into some of those things and see if they fit for you, see if they feel right for you. This is what this is all about, finding help and support for our mind, body, and soul in order just to encourage the best life. That's like, why wouldn't we want to be happy and fulfilled? If we got to be here, we might as well be happy, right? All right, guys, I hope you have a fabulous day. Happy Monday. Happy Martin Luther King Day. I hope you can find just places in your heart to be a little bit more sincere, supportive, and gentle with those around you, even if it is about biting your tongue or walking away from something that could go down the rabbit hole. Thank you so much always for your time and energy. Drop comments below. I love to hear how it resonates. I'll talk to you soon.